cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left in these leagues, but I ain't gonna leave. I'ma get right. Get right. Down to the bottom and scratch it for all the...
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up everybody? It's Marcus Grant.
This is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I gotta give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Do you want to lose your league?
Our league, check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
And best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
And you're tuned in to watch my boys at Get Right Fantasy Network. Get you right. Enjoy the show.
But I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided, I will lock in every way. So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves.
What up? What up? What up, world? We are back. I'm Anthony, aka Rasta, and this is Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm here with my boy Classic Mike on this lovely Friday evening. Friday Night Mocks is back. Redraft season is here. Happy July, Classic. How you doing, my guy? Hope you had a good 4th.
Oh, you too, my friend. Happy 4th to all those out there. Really excited to be here on our first We're in redraft season now.
Let's go. It's almost here. We're a
blew
month
my
away.
mind, man. It blew my mind. And I am now excited and ready to go.
Let's do it, man. Hey, shout out to getting this mock started, man. They were out here. I had people, hey, when you guys doing redraft mock, hey, let's start it up right now. Shout out to Epson here, who's in here. And this thing filled in about 5 minutes, if that. Yeah. So super quick. Had a big standby list. Shout out to the guys. I think we had a couple that couldn't make it. Brian G and Scully. Sorry, buddy. We had to get you out. But you always come back. He's been with us for a while. Yeah. And then our boy FaZe 300 was trying to get in here. Phil did a breakdown of his Dynasty League over on the Extra Point. Make sure you guys are checking him out. Nice. So hope you appreciate that, FaZe. And he had a family emergency, get him up, couldn't make it. But we got Unogas to fill in. So we got a bunch of degenerates in this one tonight, man. I'm excited. These are the dudes that, like, literally these dudes that are in this mock. Like, we're mocking like during the day, all day, every day. Like, these are dudes that are just in that, hey, we're just in that mock world. So this should be a good one, man. I'm interested to see where, guys are going to land here in redraft. Obviously, having that dynasty mind on the brain. Also, it's only going to be a 2 wide receiver. I'm probably taking I'm off script at this point, Classic. We're only doing 2 wide receiver.
I'm so used to Scotty Fishbowl mocks that I'm like, at this point, I gotta tweak my
It's a retrain the brain mode right now. Yeah. So, I'm super excited, man. So we should see these running backs pushed up with only 2 wide receivers, 2 flex spots here. It is going to be full PPR. Why don't you tell them about, what we got going on here in the off season?
So we're going to be alternating Superflex, 1 QB along, with the 1 wide receiver, 2 wide receiver, 3 wide receiver. This week, we're going to be doing 1 QB, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, full PPR redraft mock. Like we said, this thing filled up in 5 minutes. But if you want to be in on these, make sure you guys check, be a part of our sleeper channel. It's in the link in the description. So make sure you do that, or make sure you send out a DM at either Sleeper or Twitter. That's my handle on both. I just have, what are those called? The
underscores
over on Sleeper. But other than that, that's me. So make sure you guys reach out and we can get you into these every Friday night. So make sure you guys are keeping up. Yeah. Are we ready to go? Let's get.
Dude, I'm just fire this thing up, man. We'll get it going. Let's get the screen up here. I know these guys are antsy. They're waiting. I'm interested as well too. While you get that going, man, just to let you guys know here on Fridays again with our Friday Night Mocks, we're doing all redraft here, like Classic said. And then the cool part about it is on Mondays, Fish and Frank and I will be back here, and we'll actually break down these mocks. So we're going to let you guys know our feedback, roster construction, breakdowns, maybe what you got right, what you got wrong. And just kind of give you a grade as well, just based on what we're thinking. Of course, we're not the end all be all, but just to try to give some insights for that. And the great part about that is you start to learn, some of the guys that we're hot on, some of the guys we're cold on. That's going to be information that you're going to want heading into our mock draft tournament of champions. So again, it's a game. It's not all about, hey, who drafted your best team. Like, you got to draft the team that you think we'll like, and it's a consensus between all of us here on Get Right. So it's, top 3 are going to end up advancing to the Friday semifinals, and then the top 3 from there to get basically our Elite 12 will actually play out an actual league. And the winner of that league is going to get $50 cash, and it's no entry. So hope you guys can get out here and join us, man. It should be a lot of fun.
Epps just pulled a crazy one here.
Hey, I like it. I like that pick.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm just it threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting it, and I knew you were going to do this.
Yeah, of course you would. Of course I am.
I was sitting here going, he's going to do it. He's going to. And
you're going Brees right behind me, right?
I want to so bad.
But
I can't.
You fell for it. Even in only 2 wide receiver, really?
I know, man. And you know me. I'm not a big fan of it, so I'm going to pivot and see what happens.
All right. I like it. Trying something new out. Get outside your comfort zone.
Man, because you know me, man. I'm going to go with the same thing over and over again. I can't do it. I gotta get out of my comfort zone. I gotta see what happens. Let's see what.
I like it, and I'm going the opposite of my normal comfort zone. Usually, I'm going receiver heavy right away. So I'm starting off with the running back here. Of course, a potential workhorse, the guy who said he's gonna get CMC like usage this year. So I'm pretty in on Bijan this year. He was on one of my championship teams last year. Shout out to our boys. How did I forget? Over at TrophySmack.com. So make sure you guys go check those out. Bring home your championships, like Wilson said here. Hey, champs, we're here for you. And yeah, man, I'm interested to see how Bijan does this year. Is he going to be the real deal, or is he going to have a similar season to last year? So, what are your thoughts there? I mean, I'm sure you're all over that Atlanta offense.
I'm all in on Atlanta. I don't care who it is, honestly. And the biggest part of it is Kirk Cousins coming in. I mean, he's the main reason why I'm on this team being as good as it is. I understand he's coming back from the Achilles. I understand there's, a lot of factors involved, but he is ultimately the best thing they've had since Matt Ryan. I mean, if you really think about it, for the last 3-4 years, the last 3 years or so, they've had garbage. And I'm sorry, and it's nothing against Mariota, nothing against Ritter, but they are not the caliber of quarterback that Matt Ryan or Kirk Cousins are. So for me, it's one of those scenarios where now they actually get a solid quarterback. They have a underrated defense. Probably one of my favorite. This defense is very underrated and very good. It's young. They have a couple of good vets that really, clog the holes that they need. Jesse Bates really helping out in the backfield. And they picked up a few guys in free agency. I mean, this team really looks solid coming into this year. They are definitely the contender in the NFC South. Honestly, I love this team, all aspects. I've never been on Kyle Pitts. I'm on him. Like, I am all over Kyle Pitts this year, but it's really because of his price. I mean, we're going to see where he goes here, but his price recently has just dropped like a stone, and I love it. The last few mocks that I did before this were round 6, 7 comparative to the 3 that it used to be. So
right.
I'll take that all day long. Drake London is another guy that I love targeting. Usually around this round, if it can go there. I know he's not going to make it to me. It's just not going to happen. But
never say never.
Yeah, well, if he does, he's mine. Unless there's someone sitting there that I really, really like. No,
and there
Wilson.
he goes. Wilson,
I know Wilson's watching. And I know. Come on, now.
He's just going to do that just to keep you on your toes.
Oh well,
he wants to see you pivot.
No, I already knew that. But there's no one. There's no one in this particular round that I would really like having. And I don't mind having the stronger wide receiver room because I know where I can find value later. So either way, I'm really excited about that Falcons defense or the Falcons offense overall. It's really going to be something. Even guys like Darnell Mooney, I really like a lot. I think he can really do a lot to open up that offense more than you can imagine. So.
I don't know if I can go that far. Darnell Mooney.
Oh, no. He's not someone I'm drafting in this.
Okay.
I'm saying as a real life guy. Sorry, I should.
Oh, okay. Reiterate. Okay. I was like, I can't agree with you on that.
No. Well, he's going to be the number 2 in that offense. And yeah, I understand he's going to be 3rd in the pecking order or 4th in the pecking order. I get it. You're going to load up Bijan. You're going to go with Kyle Pitts and you're going with Drake London. And then you have Darnell. But at the end of the day, he's a really solid route runner that can be used in the slot and be helpful for Kirk Cousins. So I really do like him a lot. So, yeah.
Nice take.
Yeah, man.
There it is. You want to recap the first round for everybody there real quick as
Yeah.
we come around the turn, and we'll anything
So
pop out to you?
I mean, there are two things that pop out to me just to start off, but Showdog going with CMC. I mean, he's going to be the typical 101. Will he end the year on that? I don't think so. That's just my own opinion. Is he that good? Of course, but he's never done it multiple times to take that type of spot. CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, then Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, at the 4. I mean, we were both saying it before. I mean, that's a great pick. I am very high on St. Brown. I know you are as well. I'm high on Detroit as a whole. They are probably. Oh, I didn't even realize what I did, and it's a 3rd round reversal.
Oh, can you pause that? Pause it. Hold
on, guys.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of Scotty Fish. Shout out to the Scotty Fish in our Superflex mocks. All bad.
I really apologize for that.
Shaw Dog said, "Oh, damn." Yeah. Hey, shout out to anyone who noticed that.
Yeah, my bad. Sorry, guys. Yeah.
John's like, didn't even notice. Kuda said he's about to cook.
I'm
Very
really
nice.
Sorry about that. I noticed it as I'm looking.
Oh, that's too funny. Too funny. Good stuff. All right, we got to correct it here. Keep us on our toes here. That really keep you on your toes, that 3rd round reversal. I like it, man.
He only has 10 seconds, but I will give him who he wants. So if he doesn't get who he's looking for, hopefully he gets it. Let's see. I just want to make sure it's right.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, there he goes. All right. Yeah, he made his pick. We're good. Right. We're back on track.
Oof. Sorry about
that.
Good
save there. Good save. Except for all these guys are.
Yeah, I know they're a little pissed.
Taking my wide receivers here that I'm interested in. These guys.
Yeah.
Ooh, little DK reach there. I like that pick. Uno Gas. Oh yeah. So go ahead. Were you? Did you read off the first round yet? Before that whole.
No, I mean I got to St. Brown and like I was saying, me and you were very high on the Detroit offense as a whole. We both like everybody in those particular offense. Oh, we got Trinzer. I always ruin this.
Hey, that pick. Tresner, what's up, man?
Tresner, what's up, man? But yeah, honestly, man, after that, we got Bijan. Bijan, of course, we both just talked about. We love him. I went with Justin Jefferson in the 106. Chase, Breece Hall. The next one is Puka Nacua. I don't like Puka in the first. I think you're spending too much capital on a guy. I understand what he did last year. I'm not taking anything away from him. But the problem is that he went from nothing to the first in a matter of a year. I'm sorry. That's just it's too much draft capital for me to actually invest that type of pick on him. I would prefer him near the end. Or
I mean, you could say your boy over in Houston did the same thing, Mr. CJ Stroud. So but Stroud, I mean, I guess he was a high draft capital. All right, he didn't come out of nowhere, so to speak. All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, you didn't pick him. You took Bryce over him, I believe. Oh no, AR.
What?
You took AR over him, didn't you?
Where?
And the Get Right Dynasty.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me started.
Yeah.
But I did that as I was an idiot. I wanted Stroud the whole time, and I pivoted really bad. But here, my whole thing is at this point, Kupp is coming back. He's healthy. Last year, he was hurt. There was something wrong with him last year. And everyone knew it. Everyone saw it. He had a rough time last year. So at this point, you have him back. You have Stafford. They added a couple pieces to that line. Yeah, they're out without Higbee, but they do have a couple of guys on tight end that they can use. So I do think that at this point, will he be involved? Of course, but they also have Kyron Williams, and Blake Corum that they can run the ball as well. So they're going to try to take a little pressure off Puka. I feel like at this point, he's just a little bit too high for me. Kupp going in the third, I prefer. You know what I mean? Like I would rather value-wise, I'd rather have Kupp.
Like you'd rather go AJ Brown running back and then Cooper Kupp in the third.
Yeah.
To get a piece of that offense.
Yeah,
right?
I don't mind having a piece of that offense. I like that offense quite a bit. It's just
Pills with the super stack over there with the Philly with Hurts, Brown, Barkley, and then threw some Kelsey in there.
I thought about grabbing Josh Allen this round. I wanted to change it up and go a different route.
Ooh, there goes Cook. I know that's who you're probably eyeballing right there.
Yeah, I was looking for Cook at this point. I was kind of hoping he fell because then it's going to put me in a scenario that I don't want to be in. Because there's a couple guys here that I really like. Because and unfortunately I grabbed Nico Collins, which I'm gonna grab Joe. And I like Joe Mixon a lot in this offense. I really do. And I should have just grabbed Stroud, but it is what
Probably should have just got my boy Devonta Smith right here, but it's hard to also pass on Lamar.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a little Lamar Mark Andrews stack going on here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Hey man, I don't hate this stack. It's just I'm really surprised. I know it's one QB, but I'm a little surprised that one QB is drawing up so many quarterbacks. Like I thought they would at least last a little bit, like one more round.
I think these four I think belong here. After this, maybe AR goes in the next, like in the sixth.
Yeah.
But after that, like there's no point in taking a quarterback after that for a while, if that makes sense.
No,
like that's how I feel a little bit. And again, it could be I still got a little best ball on my brain. Oh, of course, Epps over here, he takes Andrews right away.
Yeah, well, come on now.
Well, there goes that. I'd rather take my pick back and go ahead and grab Mr. Devonta Smith there. I would have preferred.
Well,
and there goes Eckler
right after that. So
look at that nasty wide receiver room with CeeDee Lamb, Jaden Law, Brandon Ayuk, and Devonta Smith.
And you got to remember we have 2 flex as well, so it's not a bad move. You know, you are using most of the time you're using the wide receiver for that flex spot, so he's got a pretty solid core right now, and now he can easily go into running back, which are a couple of they're more like steady options. These are guys that are not going to be home run hitters, but they are definitely guys that can win a week or two. So Kamara, not a bad pick. I'm not high on Kamara this year.
I like him. Redraft?
Why? Can you tell me why? And I know we're going to probably discuss this later on.
In full PPR?
Full PPR. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. And
you're getting him in the 5th, 6th round? I'll take it. We got check down Carr over there. Nothing's really changed in the offense. I probably would have taken him, but I already got Olave, so I'm not trying to invest too much in that New Orleans offense. But yeah, I think he's a decent guy, especially when you have 4 wide receivers like that to get Kamara as your RB1. Like he's still going to have those weeks. He's not going to be, CMC, but you're not spending that kind of capital on him either. Yeah. I think this trio of wide receivers here coming up is pretty interesting to me. Or actually you could say quintuplets here. Well, actually I look at it a little different. So you got Pickens and Flowers, who are technically the wide receiver ones kind of their team right now. So potential volume there. And then you got Tank Dell and T Higgins, who are, you could argue, the number 2s on their teams. Sure. So to see that, it's interesting where you want to go with it. Usually haven't been drafting too much of Flowers. I think here I'm probably just going to go with the upside of Tank Dell at this point.
Fair enough.
And see what happens.
Fair enough.
And then obviously, stacking's not so important here when you're just playing against, 11 other people. It's not a big time tournament. So,
I put myself in that position right there where I could have just taken CJ Stroud and I chose not to because
there's no point.
No, there's no point. I rather reach. Well, I wouldn't even say reach. This is about where Kyle Pitts is going, and right now he's probably going 5th, 6th round. So I'm pretty happy with that value.
Yeah, not bad at all.
No.
Let me see. Where do I see Pitts going on full PPR?
Hey, look who it is. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
What's up?
It's Good seeing you, man.
See, I like what Trez said. Said,
Yeah.
don't be the guy who doesn't have Tank Dell this season. I don't know if you put that up there already.
No, I didn't.
That's why. I mean, I just couldn't pass it up. Like the potential
I get
ceiling this dude has is. I mean, like if
it's
you want to
incredible.
talk about drafting for upside, like this
Yeah.
kid has some serious upside.
Honestly, I wish his particular I wish his ADP was a little bit lower. Like, I understand, like, I'd rather have him as my wide receiver 3 than my wide receiver 2.
You can get him there as your wide receiver 3.
Oh,
easily.
of course. I mean, Austin Eckler showed that you can do that if you wanted to. But at the
I mean,
end
he
of
would
the
have been
day-
his wide receiver 5, actually.
No, well, that's my point. Well, that's where I'm going is like if he, or even Shaw Dog's team or whatever, like you could have gone that route if you really wanted to. He's gonna be great. It's just his, and Trezor is saying it right here. Tank Dell is top 5 in all metrics, even at 5'8". He's a freak athlete.
And they have him listed as 5'10", and they had him listed as 5'10". He must have had his cleats on when Sleeper measured him out.
But I'm saying, like, that's my whole thing. Like, I get it. I put that. Yeah, I mean,
oh, my bad.
No, you're good. I mean, he is a freak athlete, and you can get him for half the price of Nico Collins. To me, Nico Collins, though, is the guy, and we've talked about this offense a little bit almost in nauseum because of the amount I talk about it. But I just feel more comfortable with Collins and the player that he is and how they use him. I understand Tank Dell and his usage, but it's one of those scenarios that Tank seems to be more of the boom bust guy that can have those spike weeks that are like killer spike weeks, but his down weeks are bad. So I like Nico, who's a little bit more on a consistent basis. Oh, yeah. He said, oh, yeah, he's 5'10". I was going to say, he wasn't.
I'm pretty sure he's
short,
5.
Dude.
No, I'm pretty sure he's. I think 5'8" was what's his little deuce or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was too small.
He's probably really like 5'8", 5'8.5" though. For real, Sleeper be doing it like this.
I don't know
Sometimes.
about that.
They got everybody listed like 6'4". They're really like 6'2".
I mean,
some of them
let's
are
see
off.
where Marvin Harrison is. Marvin Harrison, I know for a fact is 6'4". So they have him listed as 6'4". Yeah, come on now.
He looks 6'4".
Oh, geez. Why are you guys putting me? You're putting me in this scenario that I don't like.
Oh, Stroud just screaming at you right there at the top of ADP.
I'm sorry.
Hey, if you don't take him, I'll take him. I already got Lamar.
I don't care.
I already have Lamar, man.
Hey,
these guys weren't taking a quarterback.
For less. Come on. I got him
you
for
waited
around
around.
less. Yeah. I don't. Kyle Pitts was not lasting that far down. So.
Yeah. Let's see. I kind of like this. It sucks having a bunch of like number 2 wide receivers on this team.
I'm slowly turning to this, Trenzar. I honestly, for like the beginning, I'm like, oh, this is probably just gonna be hype. No, it's not. He's gonna be an animal.
I'll reach a little bit here.
Yeah, you do you, man.
Let's go get my guy Jordan Addison. I still have this thing about Jordan Addison, man.
I like it. I like Jordan.
Him and Devonta Smith are my number 2 wide receivers, like that. I just think they're not going to win every week, but they can. I think they have a good chance to pop off whenever opposing defenses want to take out the number 1. Then they have a chance to. Yeah, they have the talent to beat out that other corner. And I mean, Devonta Smith will make you miss in a phone booth. So yeah.
For sure.
And again, same thing with Tank Dell. Oh, so I want to kind of go back to that too in that Houston offense. How do you think those guys are going to line up? Because I personally think they're going to put Diggs in the slot. I think they should keep Dell on the outside.
Diggs,
along
Diggs
with
is going
Nico.
to be. Yeah, they're gonna put Nico on the outside with Dell on the outside as well, and they're going to probably put Nico at X, put Dell on the other, and then put Diggs in the slot with Dalton Schultz. They'll probably switch out here and there with Brevin Jordan and do 12 personnel. That
was
way.
the problem with them last year is they ran a lot of that last year, hard play action, which is how Nico and Tank were just wide open. I mean, just taking those shots.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Diggs. What I saw last year in Buffalo was kind of scary, to be honest. Not scary, but it was one of those things where I kept seeing Diggs in only in on third down and like maybe first down. I very rarely saw him in on other downs or, those run blocking type downs. So honestly, it's going to be interesting to see how they use him in this particular scenario. So I still like him, but it's going to be hard to understand like how like his range of outcomes are very, very wide,
Mhm.
Yeah, see, I don't
Oh
know
yeah,
if
I
he
also
will.
love Devonta Smith for that.
See, I don't think Diggs is going to
Illinois.
stretch the field as much as people think he is. He's not the 9 route guy he used to be. He's more of a precision runner. Like he's more of a route runner than anything. Like he's just very good at running those short intermediate routes. So, I mean, I remember like 2-3 years ago when people asked like who was the best route, D-backs, who's the best route runner, out there. They all said, Diggs. I don't know if that's changed, but it kind of feels like it has. But I could be wrong.
Mhm. He's one of those guys. I'd put him. I mean, at least as of last year. We'll see what happens. This year. I mean, I think that's what everybody wants to know is, was it just him not wanting to play over there with Josh Allen anymore? I mean, why would you not want to play with one of the top, quarterbacks? But I mean, hey, drama happens, and if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then that could be, a big thing.
Oh, he did
Or
that.
was
He
it
did that in Minnesota too, man. He
right?
did.
Well, I mean, they did draft Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, well,
He probably was like,
been,
"Yeah, I need to get out of here. This dude's the shit."
and maybe that was the case, but I don't think he was there when they drafted Jefferson. I don't think.
Or was it just him and no? Because I thought it was Diggs, Thielen, and Jefferson as the rookie, and then basically they got rid of Diggs that
Oh no,
next year.
that's what it was. You're right.
Yeah,
But
pretty sure that's how it
wait
went
a
down.
minute. When did? Oh yeah, Jefferson's been in the league what 3 years now? 4 years?
Yeah,
It feels like he was
it's
like
still just so well because receivers never peaked until they were like 27,
yeah.
until him and Chase came out and they just wrecked fantasy. So
This
yeah,
is-
now we're just all over these rookies. Like, oh yeah, they're just going to be good right away. Like, no, it doesn't usually work like
This
that.
is great. He was mad no one wanted him to date their sister. Yeah, I remember seeing that. They did like this whole thing where they walked around the locker room. They're like, who wouldn't you let date your sister? And everybody said Stephon Diggs.
That's hilarious.
That
That's
was such a
hilarious.
great little sketch that they did.
Oh man, yeah, that's tough. All right, where are we at here?
So we are in the 7th round. You just went JSN as your wide receiver 4. I like it. I like it a lot.
I got one of those little weird feelings again. Again, everybody wanted Jason to just pop right away. He didn't, and then it just is, he was being drafted up there where MHJ was his rookie year, and I think this might be the breakout year. Sometimes we're a year early on these guys.
I think
he has a chance to break out.
I still think he has the year. You know what I mean? Like I still think he has one more year that it's going to take, because Tyler Lockett is still there.
Yeah.
Will they, do a little bit more to get him involved?
I think so. I think, having him out there, I think he'll be able to, run more routes, get on the field more, hopefully run, more 3 wide sets, and, let Geno kind of air it out, a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
When they were, playing well the year before, that's what they were doing. Obviously they, have a new offense over there, got a, defensive head coach, but I believe the coordinator came in from Washington, where they ran a lot of 3 wide, pretty spread type offense. So, with the weapons that they have, man, I think, any of these guys can pop, but it's kind of like what you were saying about, taking Dell, later, or taking these other guys a little later. I don't have to spend what I have to, or it was a cut versus Puka. I kind of feel the same way, DK versus JSN. And they're going to have to compete in that. I mean, they're going up against the Rams, they're going up against the Niners. So they're going to, against the Cardinals with Marvin Harrison, that offense, like there's going to be shootouts in that division, man. That's almost 8 games right there, with probably at least a 45 point over under, 46 point over under. So like, again, those are the type of things, I'm looking for. I'm going to have to put up points.
Fair enough. Yeah. I'm just low on him. I didn't see anything special to make me want to go for him. He's definitely somebody interesting this late in the draft where it could be a huge value.
And that's all it is for me. Yeah.
That offense to me as a whole isn't anybody that I'm really targeting. Maybe guys like Noah Fan who are a little bit later. I know he's like on the low end of the spectrum, for what you're trying to grab. But him
is still here. Huh?
Who?
Rome.
Yeah.
Welcome to redraft, baby.
Well, that's what it is, man. At this point, I mean, I know I grabbed the guy you wanted, or at least
not. Yeah, definitely, but not right now. I spent so much on my running back position. I'm like wide receiver here for the next few rounds. Yeah. I can maybe start thinking about something else now.
Well, I had ideas as well, right around here, but I wanted to kind of fortify my running back room here a little bit. So we got Trenzer in the chat going. Oh, I was gonna start from the top.
Go ahead. I just seen that one because I was like, hey, that's my Sticky Ricky pick. That pick's coming, Trezner. Don't worry.
So he's like,
best ball shares are leading up. Go ahead.
He's like, to be fair, there's always a rookie who blows up. Andre Johnson, Moss, Marvin Harrison, Torrey Holt, etc. Then he goes,
you got Odell Beckham. I mean, you can keep on going.
Brendan Rice. Keep it on the down low. Nah, man. I like him too, but it's a little bit difficult with the offense that he's a part of. So, but I like him a lot. I think he can be a good play for sure.
So here's the thing I want to ask you two here. Okay. So this is why in 1QB you got to just wait. So obviously I invested in Lamar Jackson at 4.8. Basically Lamar Jackson light, if you will, coming off the board here.
Kyle.
In much better weather situation, and I think they have an easier strength of schedule this year. And Kyler Murray, man, and I you guys all know I was off of Kyler Murray last year coming off the ACL. That was because he wasn't going to return until like week 11 or something like that, and he came back like week 10, and we knew his time going to ramp up and all that good stuff. So it wasn't that I was out on Kyler because I wasn't about Kyler. It was it was literally the injury and his game, and he actually looked a lot better than I thought, but I just needed to. It was just kind of like Javonte and Brees. Like I'm just not going to invest in that, see where it goes. Also, I'm not taking any Jordan Brooks in redraft this year either.
Yeah, I'm not taking a lot of Jordan. You mean Jonathan Brooks?
Or Jonathan Brooks? My bad.
Yeah, I'm not taking a lot of Jonathan Brooks either. And it's mostly redraft. I mean, Dynasty understood. Take him
all day.
Yeah, but for redraft, he's not coming back until at least October, at the very least. So and they even said Halloween is probably like where he might be coming. So like Chuba Hubbard isn't a horrible option in redraft. People need to understand like who he is at this point.
He's like Gus Edwards, basically. We all feel like that with him.
Yeah, like he's definitely someone that you can roll with. Kyler Murray overall. Oh, you motherfucker.
Oh, it's so hard.
You piece of shit.
So hard. He could be his number one, man. I mean, this late. My wide receiver like 6.
I know.
Couldn't pass that up. I needed to go running back there or tight end, but
dude, I was sitting there like, holy shit, Coleman's gonna make it to me, and I'm so happy. You suck.
Sorry, Classic. It's not gonna happen.
This is why I can't have you next to me. This is why I don't like drafting next to Rasta.
I don't like drafting next to anyone in this room right now.
No, never. They're all degenerates. They all know how we think, but no,
and honestly, how they think is good too.
Yeah. Honestly, though, like you were saying with Kyle Murray, should I have maybe waited a little? I already put that up. You can sit there and you can sit there.
I had to do my little celebration real quick while you were talking. Let's go.
But honestly, if you ask the question, would you rather have CJ Stroud where I got him in the 6th or Kyler Murray where I currently have him,
2 rounds later,
where he kind of went? I'd almost rather have Kyler Murray if you really think about it. I mean, he is somebody that could do really well this season. They went in. They grabbed Marvin Harrison Jr., who is the best prospect to come out since they said Calvin Johnson, and I can see it. I understand it. I'm getting there. I wish I could have seen.
Nice stretch there. Hills, but Jerome Ford, that's my guy.
No, I love Jerome Ford.
It's my guy this year. because I said all that Jonathan Brooks talk. He went and got my guy. All right, go ahead. My bad.
Well, and
Sorry to interrupt you.
Brooks went a little bit before that. Anyway, so they also went out and grabbed Zay Jones, which I know doesn't seem like a lot. He's not that bad, and he was very involved in the Jags offense. Also, they have Michael Wilson that they grabbed last year, who is a big, tall, and they got him involved, a receiver, with Trey McBride and Tip. I don't think people realize that they also drafted another tight end with Tip Rittman, who is actually another guy that can do very well in the passing game. So right now, they really do have a solid group of wide receivers and or tight ends that they can get involved. Pass catchers, there you go. That, and then on top of that, James Conner's there with Trey Benson, who could eventually take over that role. It's a solid team. Their line was the only problem. And I think that if they don't fortify that a little bit or kind of work with it to be better, that might be the biggest problem that they have. But other than that, this team is pretty solid overall. So I'm excited to see it. I mean, what did Phil text us the other day? It's plus 300 for Kyler Murray on the comeback player of the year.
Oh, yeah. Was it 300 or 3,000?
3,000.
Yeah, I thought it was 3,000. I was like, I thought it was a bigger number than that.
That's my bad.
Drop 100 on that. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it's one of those scenarios, man, where would it be worth it at least this year to maybe think about the Cardinals? Yeah, I think they are one of those teams. Motherfucker. I hope you didn't auto that pick.
No, you didn't want that anyway, though.
I did want that pick.
Classic. Just take Jaleel McLaughlin like rounds later.
No, I like him so much better.
He's not Sean Payton's guy, man. He's in like the Sean Payton doghouse. I don't know why.
Well, he shouldn't be. He is the better of the running backs. But
remember when he was like a first round rookie pick?
Yeah,
like first round Dynasty startup guy. He fell from grace. That injury got him good.
I know, but the injury shouldn't have affected him in any shape, way, or form.
It should have.
No,
and just the scheme change. I don't know. He just ran into a bad situation over there. See, this is where it sucks.
He said not auto. Early. You mother. He didn't auto. Whatever. I wanted him there so badly because he's honestly, for me, even in Dynasty, I like him a little bit more. Redraft, I can understand. But he is somebody that I'm looking to target. He's one of the youngest running backs currently out there. He's 24. And he's very young. He's productive. I understand last year with the knee injury, but this kid in his first few games, before his injury, he did very well.
Everything is gross right here. Yeah, I'm just not on that Devontae train. Man, see, this is why I hate taking quarterback early because I feel quarterback's my best position on the board right now.
Yeah.
I think I might have to just go David Njoku, man.
Did you time out or?
No, I'm just going to let it auto.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, for running the clock out there.
Okay.
I just sometimes when you start clicking stuff, it might click the wrong person, and when it gets that close, the board was so gross right there. There's nobody I really like in redraft. Like, there's plenty of guys here I take in best ball. Like, give me Zach Charbonnet all day right here. Like, and that's the biggest thing now is I'm just like, all right, so that redraft, adjustment, you're not just like going for upside. You're trying to play out a year. You're trying to, put guys together that, might have some value with trades or at least just play out, the entire year. There goes Austin Eckler with my Zach Charbonnet pick.
Wow. I'm surprised Austin Eckler didn't pick Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler.
And then he goes the pick right after him.
The pick after. Oh. Yeah, so we're just in this gross kind of part of the
really
draft
is
right here.
But I don't mind it. I love finding the value here. This is where I love looking for value in what I want for a guy.
It's when you just start reaching. Screw ADP.
So Austin Eckler in the sleeper chat, he goes, "I know, bro." He was like,
he's trying to double tap him on the way back.
Yeah, maybe he was trying to get him on the way back, and but that would have been a little bit much, for his running backs, but maybe not, But honestly, man, no, not the. Believe me, I wish it was the real Eckler. Unfortunately, this is not the real Eckler. But yeah.
Shots fired in the sleeper chat over there.
Yeah, I know. I was looking at that.
Oh man.
Josh Palmer, Ungats sniping me late with my value pick. I mean, I got other value picks in here. Don't you worry. They're all over the place. I got some really good value picks in the next 2 rounds. I really do. I love this part of the draft because then you're looking for those guys that are going to just explode. And I love it.
Yeah.
But I got to be
careful. Quarterback. Yeah.
See, I got to be careful here too because there's a lot of guys that I like at running back, but running back went real thin real quick.
Yeah, especially because it's only 2 wide receiver. I mean, we do have the 2 flex in there, but they'll still tend to run a little running back heavy. I'm kind of right here leaning towards a little Ty Chandler. You know, Aaron Jones hasn't been able to stay healthy. We saw what Ty Chandler was able to do last year in that offense. I mean, I know they want to run the ball, but they do set it up well with the pass. Obviously, with Justin Jefferson there. I already have Addison though. Do I really want to double tap it like that? I talk myself through it. Amen. I'm gonna take AD Mitchell instead and take a shot on. Another rookie. I'm not supposed to be drafting all these rookies. Classic, stop me. Stop me.
Man. Hey, man, I'm in the same boat. I don't normally like doing it. And this is the one class that feels odd that I have to do it.
It's not even the class. What it comes down to me sometimes is I'd rather take the unknown versus what I know I'm going to get. Like, I know what I'm going to get with some of these guys. Like, maybe they could break out a little bit, but like a lot of them, we've seen them have their chance and they're just not that guy. Like, they're still useful, but I'd rather take a guy that can completely try to break fantasy or like completely overshoot his ADP because we just haven't seen it yet and you never know.
Understood.
Or take someone that I just know is a depth piece that I can't trade later. So that's my whole thought process is if AD Mitchell comes out hot in the first 3 weeks as my wide receiver, like 7, I can go trade him probably to a rich owner. Like I can just trade him off. Maybe somebody else's wide receiver goes down. I can package him and upgrade, another position. So that's kind of just my thought process on it versus grabbing someone like, again, a Ty Chandler, who's great for like a 0, RB build in a best ball, but is he going to have value in redraft? Like, is anyone going to be like, oh shit, give me Ty Chandler on my team? Yeah. Like, even if he's popping off like real good, like nobody likes even James Conner because he doesn't have the name, but that dude is just a bona fide RB2, like top 20, running back, but he doesn't hold any like asset value, if that makes sense. So when I come into redraft, I like to just, take those, what we call those lotto tickets. Because if you end up scratching and you hit big on them, you'll be able to trade them off later on. So that's kind of my thought process versus like, oh, I'm just thinking these guys are going to be great as rookies. It's just more so, hey, can I turn this into an asset and package these guys up later, to make a move? Or if they're not, if they're not, then it's an easy cut for me, if that makes sense, versus taking a guy that could have value on someone's team. And if you put that out on the waiver wire, after a couple weeks, may not have trade value, but could really help somebody's, depth or something like that. So I hate being in those weird kind of situations where I'm almost stuck holding guys just to keep them off other players' rosters versus what they can actually contribute to yours, if that makes sense.
No, I completely understand. I've done that before where I'm like, I know that I'm not going to play him, but I'm going to keep him just because I know someone else will, I don't want anybody else getting him. No,
just to get a free piece. You know what I mean? So
and Mitchell's not a horrible piece. It's just, for me, my whole issue is Anthony Richardson for that group. And I know we're going to have this discussion later on in the season or in the off season, but for me, we had such a small sample size for Anthony Richardson that the sample size was so weird because he had one game where he threw for a decent amount and he did okay. The other couple games, he didn't really do much. He ran a lot, which made him very valuable. So of course, for a fantasy quarterback, he is awesome. Real life quarterback, So for me, it's a scenario where someone like Mitchell, do I really want to trust it? It seems like more along the lines of Justin Fields in a way. He feels like Justin Fields, the guy that has the ability to do it, but then all of a sudden, instead of throwing to the guy that he should, he kind of just pivots and runs. And as much as I would love to invest in that offense, I don't feel comfortable doing it because he could do that. He could turn into a Justin Fields just that quick, because everyone was like this with with Justin Fields at that point. So, but Justin Fields didn't have a shoulder injury that kept him out for a whole season. So it's one of those things where I'm just a little bit lighter on the Indy offense as a whole. Do I like guys like Michael Pittman? Of course, because he's the main guy in that offense. But
Ooh, Sticky Ricky, there he is.
I'm gonna reach, and I don't care.
Got your guy.
Yeah, I gotta get my guy. But at this point, it's one of those scenarios where I just can't invest in Indy's offense. Will I invest in guys like Jonathan Taylor? Oh, of course. I think they're gonna run through Taylor and just consistently run with him. So that's why I don't mind guys like Trey Sherman, like we've mentioned before, as a backup guy for him or a handcuff. But overall, I can't trust that Indy offense yet. There's nothing that shows me that they're going to be an outstanding offense for someone like Mitchell to do well. And I think he's a very talented player. They said he's probably the most talented guy in that particular draft class. Beyond the top three. But he is so raw that there's just something that could go wrong for Mitchell. And then if something goes wrong, it's
easy cut.
It's
easy cut.
Yeah,
put him on the wire.
No, I get where you grabbed him. Fine, understood. I'm just talking about
I know what you
the player himself. Like I can't invest in it. Like I don't even feel comfortable in the 11th round investing in him. I'd rather go for somebody else. I'd rather try to find a piece that I think will actually be a value. Like Leggett. I'm very surprised he dropped one more round compared to Mitchell. I think Leggett is going to be involved in the offense. I know
they scored only 20 touchdowns last year. You think they're really that much more improved?
Yeah,
it's the same quarterback,
different offensive coordinator. They
a
built
little
the
bit
line.
of an improved line. A little.
They
bit.
improved the line.
A
they
little
improved
bit.
the pieces around Young.
They moved up like 10 spots, maybe.
But they made sure to grab pieces to make Young better, and Leggett was one of those pieces. And I remember the interview that they had where he was like, "Oh, they said they were going to take me if I'm there," and they did. They traded back. They traded from the second into the first at the end just to grab him. Now I understand it's only one pick, whatever. But at the end of the day, they went and got their guy. They're happy that they got him. Honestly, I think the guy is going to do okay. I honestly do. I think he's going to be a solid player overall. And, compared to a guy like Mitchell, who might not be. And I think I'm not going to say Brees Young is anything better than Anthony Richardson, but I think he's a more accurate passer than Richardson. That's the only thing I can
remember. Richardson throwing was a lot more accurate than we thought.
Well, because he only threw one game. He had one game where he threw for more than 20 passes attempts. Like, come on now.
He's a dual threat. He's a dual threat.
He's not a dual threat, bro. That's my problem.
He's a 1.5 threat.
Yeah, 1.5 threat. I mean, come on. Look at his.
Well, he's 1.5 rushing threat and a half a passing threat, so he is a dual threat.
Come on.
It still adds up to 2. Classic. Don't hate on our guy over here.
No, he had 2 games where he threw for more than 25 yards. Or 25 attempts. And in those 2 games, he had 24 attempts, or he had 24 catches and 11 catches. And they were that's a half. If you look at that, one game is almost less than half completion percentage. And the other one is just above 3/4 of a completion percentage. Come on now. And the other one, and that particular game that we're looking at, he didn't run for a particular. Oh no, he did. He did run for a touchdown. So I mean, everything was running. Yeah, that's the whole point. He rushed for 30. What was it? The only game he didn't rush more than 30 yards was the last game where he got hurt. Other than that, he rushed for 30 yards. I understand for fantasy, he's a great asset. But for real life, he is a horrible. I don't think he's a good quarterback in any shape, way, or form.
Ooh, maybe not in real life, Classic, but he can.
That's what I said. Fantasy. I said real life. Fantasy.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's going to break fantasy.
No, he's a very talented runner, but
You
especially in
can't
4 point. Oh
survive.
God,
You can't survive in this league without doing both as a quarterback. I'm
he
sorry,
can't survive taking the hits like Cam Newton. Man.
No.
He needs to not do that.
Well, and that's a big part of it.
And he's not slippery enough like Lamar. Like Lamar doesn't really take contact. He rushes a lot, but he doesn't really take contact.
Well,
and they don't just like run him up the middle.
No,
like he'll just make you miss in a
slides
phone
more than
booth.
most.
Yeah.
Well, he slides
I mean,
a lot,
we've-
and he's
he's just smart. Like he's there. He's already matured. He got paid. Like he understands what it takes to be a professional in the league now. So yeah.
No,
and just by the way, just to put it out there with this Marshawn Lloyd and Rico Dowdle picks, I got completely froze out of running back. Like I drafted running back way early, and I was just like, I can't even. All the value kept falling to me at wide receiver, and so I got completely froze out. But it's redraft. You can make trades later, so that's what I'll be looking to do. Again,
wait, you
some
had
of these wide receivers
queued up and you took them,
no, I mean,
or you just at that point?
no, I just meant I got froze
out.
out of running back because there's just no one left. Like,
Well, you had a couple of value picks that you didn't go with. Tyron Tracy is a good pick at around this price. You can get other guys that are.
Well, yeah, I mean,
here.
I still have. Oh, did he go already? Because I was like, I had him in the queue.
No, he's sitting right here.
Yeah, no, I got him.
Right
yeah,
now. I'm not
I got
gonna
him.
grab
Yeah.
him.
No, I mean, I have him in the
should-
queue. I mean, there's Braylon Allen. The number 2 to
I
Brees
love
over there.
Allen, man. Braylon
JK.
Allen.
Yeah, I mean, I still kind of like JK too, but
You know what? Thank you.
Oh shit, I gotta
Thank
grab
you
a
for
tight
bringing
end. Let me get
'cause-
Conklin. I forgot about tight end, even
good old
too.
Conklin.
Classic.
Yeah. So Trenzer brings up a good point. Does
It could be.
Does AR-15
be.
have the same fate as RG3? Now,
If he
here's the thing.
learns.
If Anthony Richardson had the rookie season that RG3 had, I would say yes. But we didn't even get to see the rookie season because he wasn't even
He didn't
there.
even make it that long.
He
He
didn't
didn't
even
even make
that
it to
long.
the playoffs to tear his knee
he
up.
didn't tear anything. So for me,
Oh, I did have a tight end. I took Njoku earlier. I didn't have
yeah,
to
you
double
did,
tap.
but whatever. Yeah.
That's all right. It's a mock. That's why we do
Yeah,
this.
well, for us, it doesn't matter. We don't even grade ours. We should, but we don't. But at the end of the day, yeah, could I see like reminiscent of that? No, kind of. I feel more strongly about it being more like Justin Fields than I do anybody else because they seem to be the same type of player where both were really, really highly recruited. They were both like, oh my God, this guy can throw a mile. Like, but then all they can do is run. I see very similar paths that these guys took. And unless they do something to change that, maybe Mitchell's part of that process to change that. They did that with Lamar. Because if you really look at Lamar was really not a great quarterback in real life in his first 3 seasons, even though he won the MVP in his quote unquote sophomore season.
Well, it's because he rushed for 1,000 yards.
But that's my point. He rushed for 1,000 yards, but
As
did
a
he do
quarterback.
anything as a quarterback? No, he threw for 2,800 yards.
I was gonna say like almost 3,000. Give him a little credit. What do you have like
whatever.
in the teens and touchdowns
Yeah,
that year?
something like that. No, he had 40, I think, passing touchdowns.
Well, 40
he
passing.
had to. Yeah, he had to have.
I
There
thought he
was
had
no
like
other way.
15 in rushing or something like that.
No.
Yeah,
He
40
definitely
passing, too?
had.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up.
Yeah, we're sleeping on Lamar, man. Lamar should be up there, dude, with the top 3. Like it should be Allen,
What season did he come out?
Hurts, and Lamar.
2020. It
And
was no, there it is. I
Mahomes.
see it. So he had 36 passing touchdowns, 3,100 passing yards, and he had the 1,200 rushing. So, I mean, the whole point I'm trying to make here is his first 3-4 years were horrible. I wouldn't say horrible. They were not as good as people thought it would be. And then all of a sudden, last year he kind of blew up, and he did very well in his passing. His passing.
36 passing touchdowns, crazy.
Yeah, 36 passing touchdowns last season, or his 2019 season when he blew up. But I mean,
Who were
hold
his
on.
wide receivers? That most of that went to
Probably
Andrews, right?
That would probably be Andrews. I don't think he had anybody crazy. He had like Nelson Aguilar and a couple other guys that I remember offhand. But like last season, he threw for 3,600 yards and 24 touchdowns, and he didn't really have
Andrews had 10 of them that year.
But he did fairly well overall for his particular year. And most of it was because of, Andrews being down. But he had a pretty solid year being QB4. But honestly, that's where Lamar needs to be a good quarterback, though. is to throw for 36 to 4,000 yards. 3,600 to 4,000 yards.
30 plus touchdowns.
Roughly, I'd say more. I'm going to
30 plus passing touchdowns.
Well, no, I understood what you said. I'm saying like 25 passing touchdowns or more. Like I'm going to give him the 25 number. And then he has to at least, and then he can keep his running down to around 700 yards to 800 yards. He doesn't have to do as much running, is the point I'm making. And you can stay in that top 5. So the whole point is that if he can improve on being a passer, he can actually be better for him because it will open up things for his running. So, like I said, real life quarterback, I've never really liked him too much, but he's improved a lot. And it's mostly because of guys like
dude has 2 MVPs, man.
Get it, but it was for his rushing. That was it. I'm sorry. Until you pass the damn ball, I don't care. Like Josh Allen is throwing for 4,000 yards every freaking season he's played, Just saying. Even guys like Dak Prescott. I like Dak Prescott because he'll throw for over 4,500 yards in most seasons. So, and there's the other guy.
They don't really run like Lamar scores from a little ways out. Lamar isn't like Lamar doesn't get his touchdowns like Hurts does. Like Hurts is like tush push it, up the middle goal line.
No, that's
like Lamar scores from like 15 yards out. Like you turn your back and he's gone.
No, but that's
he's not really doing sneaks.
Don't think about that. And honestly, I think that's going to go away now that Kelsey's gone. Kelsey was the reason why that whole thing.
Yeah,
honestly, Kelsey was the biggest reason why that happened because Kelsey made it where he would just go as low as freaking possible, and he would take out your D tackle to make it where that can work.
And they knew it was coming, and you couldn't stop it.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
But Henry's a little bit different. Henry, I think what they're going to do, this isn't Greg Roman's offense. They're not going to run it like a ton. Henry's just going to be able to make it where it takes a little bit of pressure off of Lamar because I think what's going to happen is teams are going to put they're going to put a couple more guys they might put an extra guy in the box for Henry to open it up for Lamar. A lot of play action.
Walker, baby.
Oh, hey, I'm all on
best ball all day for that very reason. Everything you just said.
Everywhere. I don't want to say I have Bateman in 3 or 4 Dynasty.
Welcome to the dark side, classic.
Yeah.
Welcome to the
I
dark
already
side.
moved. But I was on it. No, honestly, I was on it.
So you're non-throwing quarterback.
I was on it last year, and I saw the transition last year with the in the last 5 or 6 games they had Bateman. Yeah, he only got like freaking 4 or 5 targets, but those 4 or 5 targets he caught, and he was very productive with those targets. So I really do like Rashad Bateman a lot.
I don't even think he went. Did he even get drafted here? I don't think it's enough because in best ball he doesn't go till a couple rounds later. Yeah,
you can't. I mean, you can get him for a steal. Like you could probably get him around Wandell, where I got him in the 12th, but you can probably maybe even get him later. Honestly, because
I mean, would you take like Epps right here to Jermaine Burton over like someone like Bateman? Would you take a chance on Bateman?
Yeah, I would take Bateman over Burton in redraft. Yes, Burton in Dynasty,
of course.
But
I like me some Burton though. I think he could have a sneaky good
year. You want to know something funny?
As like a wide receiver, like 3 flex. Like I'm not saying he's going to be like Puka or anything.
No, I like him, but
Higgins can't stay healthy.
I'm on the other guy. I can never say his name right. Andrea.
Islova.
Yeah, Islova. Like I like him a lot. And
Islov.
Honestly, I think he's going to replace T. Higgins.
Interesting.
Do it like same build, same type of, they're the kind of like the same type of player. They used him a lot when Higgins was down. Honestly, I think that he fills in the voids there. And I think Burton fills in for Boyd. If you really think about it, like T. Higgins is going to be out there. Fine. So Burton might be involved a little bit more than,
they technically have Burton listed as Jamar Chase's backup.
Who? Islava?
Burton.
Or Burton.
Yeah, Islava. He's
where do they have
Higgins backup, and then it's Trenton Irwin they have in the flex along with like 7 other guys in the flex.
Okay.
Or sorry, in the slot. He's the wide receiver 3.
Okay, I can see that. I mean,
but yeah, I think those are their top 4 wide receivers right there. And then obviously with Higgins not going anywhere this year.
Let's be clear.
Islava, you're not drafting in redraft, but he's definitely someone you should keep your eye on, because if Higgins goes down for whatever reason, he's going to step up. I think he would be the guy. Now, I could be wrong, and we can bookmark this for later. But honestly, he's one guy that I have my eye on. I have him everywhere in Dynasty. I really like him a lot. I really think he can be productive.
Hey, the man had 14 catches for 116 yards last year and 4 touchdowns. That's like Christian. Like, what do we always say? Like, who do you trust in the red zone, right? I mean, dude's 6'3".
No, I thought he was
6'3". Again, a sleeper again. So
he's like 6'3" and he's like 225. Like he's a pro.
I have him at 205, but he's your ex. Yeah.
Well, maybe he grew up this year, but honestly, he was a big dude. So for me, he's always someone I'm keeping my eye on, and he's always somebody especially in Dynasty that I have. And he's another guy I look at in redraft. He's somebody I just look at for end of drafts that I might want to take a shot on. Like
your lotto ticket.
Yeah, he's my lotto ticket. Yeah,
there you go. Got to have one of those.
Believe me, I got a ton of them. I mean, we all know of, like, I can name 3 or 4 that were drafted at the end of this. You know what I mean? Like in that last 4 round or the last 3 rounds, Leggett, Michael Wilson, Quinston Johnston, Wicks, Mooney, and
we'll have to just do a slow on our late round sleepers. We'll have to do just a whole show on that, because like it's like we're excited because we're talking redraft for like the first time. I'm like, we could easily probably go on for like another hour. Yeah. Like we haven't even talked about anybody important. Like we're talking about Islava and Jermaine Burton. I mean, what are we doing here? But that's great stuff. Like this is why I love fantasy. That's why we're degenerates. No, I'm just saying, like, this is why. Like we spend way too much time analyzing this stuff and trying to find these guys for you guys. Like this is what we're here for.
Oh, exactly. But I think of the whole team dynamic.
Oh, yeah.
The funnier part is sometimes I don't even think fantasy wise. I'm thinking of the team dynamic.
Yeah, sometimes I have to be like, fantasy classic. We're doing a fantasy.
Yeah, but you know what? Even if it's not, it's all relative.
It is. Yeah, it is. Just like how offensive lines are relative.
Oh, dude,
coordinators.
That's what I think about. I
plays,
think about
run,
defenses, everything.
Yeah. Everything. Definitely. So good stuff. Yeah, so we can start wrapping this thing up, man.
Well, do you want to go over our teams?
If you want to, yours. Yeah, like we're gonna go over the whole thing on Monday for you guys. We'll break it down, give you our grades. Classic, if you want to take a minute to kind of look it over while I tell these folks about Underdog real quick. And then maybe pick out a team or something that you like what they did, and maybe a team that you're maybe not, something they could have got right, got wrong, how we like to do it. So while he's doing that, make sure you guys check out our Underdog Fantasy, man. If you're not sure about or what Underdog Fantasy is, they are the best and easiest place to play fantasy sports. From the best ball tournaments, which means you just draft your team with no season-long commitment. So that means no waivers, no trades, and no setting your weekly lineups, man. So you just come out here, you draft your team. You can draft, hundreds of teams like I have. I'm trying to hit over 100 this year. I want my Underdog badge. The Chihuahua 3, which filled like in less than 24 hours, that just dropped yesterday, the $4 buy-in. That was the tournament that I placed 42nd out of 40,464, turning my $4 into $400. So make sure you guys go check out underdogfantasy.com or download the app. And when you sign up and make your first time deposit, you will get that deposit match up to $250 in bonus cash. So use that promo code GetRight. And not only that, you also get one of their special pick'em entries so that you can get into a pick'em contest. So make sure you guys check it out. So what are you waiting for, man? Go download the app, make your first deposit, use that promo code GetRight. And we'll be doing live ones. You guys can go back and check our playlist. We have our best ball drafts. I'll be actually out of town next week. So I may have a little more free time, and I might be popping in doing some just live best ball drafts. So make sure you guys are hitting that subscribe button for us. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button. It helps us out just as much. So with that said, Classic,
no, what
seems
not.
Catching your eye?
We are on separate coasts, and we are nowhere near the South. Well, except for Anthony.
Yeah, I'm in Southern California, but still complete opposite. Yeah, complete opposite.
We are on opposites. So I've been looking over these teams a little bit. I'm looking at a few things that I like and don't like. But honestly, Wilson knows what we like. So I do like bits and pieces of his team. I like the starter group.
His bench is something that I'm a little bit nervous about. Just a lot of risk for me. But his starting roster with Puka, Drake London, Rashad White, Debo, James Conner, Ingram, Harris, and Joe Burrow, spot on. Like I love that start for me. Like that's a good starting team for me. But if I, beyond that particular team, I like JWN 71. I like what he did in a lot of spots. Grabbing Brees Hall where he did, Marvin Harrison as his one, Laporta. I hate Laporta in his ADP this year, unfortunately. I hate that he did so well. You know what I mean? Like I kind of wish
because we're not getting him this year.
Yeah, like I kind of wish
happening.
he did well, but I'm not grabbing him this year. But if I have him in, Dynasty, I'm happy. Which I do, which I pretty much have him everywhere this year.
And if you don't have him in your Dynasty League, Classic will give you his whole squad.
Yeah, I'll give you everybody. For the most part. James Cook right after that is the RB2. I love it. You could get away with James Cook as your RB1. I would have loved to have him where I did. Unfortunately, I went with Mixon.
I knew that was a nasty snipe for you right there.
It was. Well, and honestly, for my RB2, man, I feel
that's what
solid.
I mean. Yeah,
solid.
I would have put all the money I own. You would have got Cook right there. If he was on
I Cook and Laporta are the two guys that I pretty much have everywhere. And then Zay Flowers is another guy. Like I thought that was a good pick for his, wide receiver 2, Keenan Allen.
And quick question on that, because Epps was in the our boy Epps here. He was in the chat asking, would you take Flowers and Andrews on the same team without Lamar and just a 12-man redraft?
I don't like having two. I honestly like even drafting Mixon and Collins. I don't really like doing. I don't like having two guys from the same team that are on, both pass catchers. Like, I don't mind having Andrews and like Henry. You know what I mean? Like they're two different guys that I could get away with. But honestly, I try to avoid that at all costs. Like I'm not gonna. I had like Dave Montgomery and Laporta a lot last year. Like those were the two guys I was really high on. They both did fairly well, so it kind of helped me. But I also had Jared Goff, which kind of, if Goff had a bad day, Montgomery was having the good day. So I could kind of get away with it, but you want to be very, very careful doing that.
Hey, me, won championships the last 2 years rocking
T.
Higgins and Jamar Chase, and then last year Puka and Cup did it for me. So I'll take that gamble every once in a while.
But it's the offense that you're investing in. Are you going to invest that in the Ravens offense?
Yeah, they're top 5 offense last year.
Maybe
top 5, at least through those two guys. That offense ran through those two guys. That's the only argument you can make.
True, but
they do have Derrick Henry now.
True, but I could also say that the Ravens are going to be another team where their defense kind of took a hit this year. They were fairly
need more offense.
Well, that was kind of where I was going with that. I was leading into that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Sorry,
but that's my whole point. Yes, their offense kind of lost a step. They're a lot older now. They have a lot of older pieces and older vets part of that team. Kyle Hamilton is still a big part of that, what they do. But they did lose Patrick Queen, who was a big part of that defense. They lost other little bits and pieces on that line too. So honestly, I do think they're going to be okay. But I think that it's going to open up things for the offense to do a little bit more because they're going to be down. They're going to have to come back. So, yeah, honestly, it's not bad, but I try to avoid it if possible. I really like to have a diversified team if I can. But sometimes things fall into place. Collins and Mixon were just two guys that fell, and so did Stroud. And I couldn't not pass up on that type of scenario. Could I have probably waited for Murray instead and go with somebody like Najee Harris or something like that at that particular point, or whatever, going with somebody different and then go with Kyle Murray on the way back in the 8th round. Yeah, that probably would have been the better move for my team. But overall, it's hard for me to pass up on guys like Stroud. But JWN, I do like the whole grouping. Devin Singletary is another guy I'm going to tell you right now is incredibly underrated. I know I mentioned Tyrone Tracy. Singletary is a dude, man. This guy is, if you really,
hey, everyone's drafting Zach Moss like crazy, but he couldn't even beat out Devin Singletary when they're in Buffalo. So
understood. And everyone llooked at what happened, last
he played
year.
well last year, but Indy didn't keep him. So like that should tell you something as well too. So,
but Singletary is a guy, I'm telling you now, he's very underrated. He's a guy that really grinds. He's got heart. The guy is a stud. And if anybody took 2 minutes to watch the Giants Hard Knocks, they were really high on him coming in, and they asked a ton of people about him. They reached out to Frank Gore, who was one of the people that brought him up in the first place when he was in Buffalo. And they ended up bringing it up to Joe Shane, and he basically was like, yeah, we need this dude. They sat in their room, and it was kind of funny. I was like, I almost gave Hard Knocks a call and been like, hey, you should have gave me a little bit of credit here. Last year, what was I saying or in the offseason? What was I saying?
You literally called it
for the Giants going for Singletary and Zach Moss. The first two guys they mentioned in their draft room when they're sitting at the table, Zach Moss and Devin Singletary for Val. And I went, it was me.
See, you should have. You could be GM Classic. It's right there.
I wouldn't say
scouting department. Scouting department. There you go. There you
I'm
go.
not gonna go
a little too high. We got a little too high on ourselves.
I'd rather be the guy chirping in the ear and being like, "Hey,
right. Keep your job, right? Stay out of the limelight." Yeah.
So I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where I really, if you guys haven't watched it, you should. It's a really good look into the Giants organization. You did get to see a little bit of Mara getting in there and trying, and everybody that's a Giants fan is like, Mara's kind of the puppet master in the background, and he kind of is in a way, but he's the one that wanted Singletary, and Shane just went, no.
See. John, you did it, man. You just drafted all Classic's favorite guys: Laporta, Goff.
Oh yeah,
Singletary. Like you would have been you would have been one of his top teams if this were honestly, a mock draft tourney. So
I liked what he did. A lot of the other teams went different routes that I didn't hate, but they went with some guys in between that I wasn't really too high on. Like Epps, I like his team a lot too. I think
his start is great up to Curtis Samuel.
Yes, that I was going to say. Everything was good. Actually, I don't mind his late round picks either. I do like guys like Chase Brown, Michael Wilson. I do like Pop Douglas as well.
But I do like Chase Brown. You know that.
I'm not a Miller guy either. I'm still.
See, we're going on a whole other show. Like we were almost going a whole grade it. Yeah. So
I'm not trying to grade. I'm just trying to
stay tuned.
I don't get to be here Monday, so I'm just trying to give my 2 cents on what I see. But my whole point is, there's a couple teams on here that I like for what they did. And I probably, I like a little bit more of that. ETN is one of those guys in the top that I'm a little bit off on still. It's hard for me to understand ETN and what's going to happen there. And, little things like that. Oh, wow. T-Law didn't even go off the board. Just realizing that. Wow. A little surprised by that. But guys like Brandon Thomas went off.
All the more reason why we can just wait on quarterback. Like I'm still.
Well, I was just going to say that.
I don't know. Like if you're going to get a difference maker, I feel like Lamar's a difference maker. That's why I feel like he's worth that. But several quarterbacks later. So I'll probably wait next time and see what quarterbacks I can have fall to me. I like Austin Eckler's team, man. Not gonna lie.
No, and I like bits and pieces of it. There's just. I like the wide receiver room, of course, but the running back room scares the living shit out of me.
I like it for going basically 0 RB.
No, I get it. It's just
with a double villain RB build. He pulled that off nice. Then gets a little stack with CD and Dak there. It's just good value. I like it. I like Spears and Sharps.
I like the value. His running back room scares the living shit out of me. That's the problem.
Got to live on the edge, Classic, with your running back.
No, I get it, but for my running backs, I'd like to have a lot of certainty for what I'm getting. No, I get it. But value for me is third round, though. Like, For me,
Oh.
him falling to the third, I'm taking him. But anything in the second, I just don't feel comfortable. If he went to the 212, I'm okay with it. You know, like that's where where I'm like done. Like
I mean, you're
I'm not
taking
good.
Henry, Waddle, Cup, Ayuk, Metcalf, Jacobs, and
Henry. I would have taken Henry over him. I would have taken
in full PPR. You would have taken Henry over him?
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
Jacobs,
Come on
I
now.
would take ahead of him.
What up?
Hey,
Radio Dynasty in the house, man. I sent you a DM. I was trying to get you in here. We had one back out. Well, what's up? Glad you can make it.
What's up?
We're wrapping it up here, just so you know. But glad of you to join us. Yeah, make sure you guys, if you're watching, hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, hit that like button. Classic. Anything else you want to mention on this thing before you put it to sleep and we break it down completely on Monday?
No, they will do their thing on Monday. And honestly, this is a great group of guys to go with. A lot of good, smart people here that made this.
It was a tough draft.
Very difficult. So we appreciate everybody that's joined us today. So thank you so much for those that are in the mock as well. That has been involved in the chat. So thank you so much for everybody enjoying that. I'm excited because next week I got my Scotty Fishbowl live draft.
Oh, Scotty Fish. Mine starts on Monday. I'm excited.
Well, yeah, a lot of leagues have actually finished.
Yeah, some guys are finished.
Which the live is only 10 rounds and then they're finished right after. I mean, that's impressive.
Well, because they're in the mode, like they're juiced up about it.
I mean,
so,
a lot.
I'm sure they're making picks like literally as soon as that thing ends. Yeah, it's like they just keep on going.
It's insane. Like I've seen it already where they're like done. I'm like, wow, how did you already end? You just had your live draft.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's going to be exciting. I get to go to the city on Saturday and draft with four other groups. We got Rich and Glenn, Rich and Wolf from Rich and Wolf, man. So we get to have those guys. We get Scott Engel, which I'm really excited. He's going to be there. A few other guys, Sal Leto, JJ Barry from the Podathon. If you didn't watch it, make sure you guys do, and make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to Fantasy Cares and all them. Like all those guys are great. We might have Dynasty Outhouse there. I know Russ usually shows up, so he was there last year. So he's from Jersey, so he'll definitely be there most likely. So shout out to all those guys. I'm excited to see everybody get to interact. I know we have Faith. She's coming as well from Club Fantasy. So yeah,
shout out to our boys over at Club Fantasy.
Yes, sir.
I saw when you did the description, you didn't see my little update where I got Club Fantasy in there.
No,
so
I didn't.
We'll have to drop. I'll update it and get the link down there. By the time you guys are watching this, hopefully it's down in there. Our boy Gator and everybody over there.
Oh, for sure. And Faith does for she's the head editor over at Dynasty Pros, where we have our good old boy Phil.
Yeah, shout out. Speaking of which, go ahead, run right into it. Tell them about our boys.
Man. I'm gonna bring up our little thing.
I was gonna do it while you were telling them, but you got
it. Make sure you guys are checking out Phil and Kendall. Phil over at the Extra Point, and Kendall over at the Fantasy Football Tavern. Man, they are doing some great content that's going to be coming out. They do have a few shows already. I mean, they've already called us in and been like, hey, come join us. So they got a lot of Dynasty content that's coming out, good buy low type stuff. So make sure you guys are checking them out. They're going to be coming out with a lot of great stuff. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to their stuff as well. So
for sure. And again, they're that Dynasty content here at Get Right Fantasy. All right, man. So let's end this thing. We were like on time, and then we got a little blabbermouth there at the end. But hey, it's our show. We could do what we want. Yes, so that's the best part about it. If we want to talk a little longer, we'll talk a little longer, man. We're getting close. Hey, we're still a month out from any kind of like even preseason. So imagine once we actually start seeing stuff happening. That's why we'll be back to like we'll have to like really rein ourselves in and have a show sheet and stick within. Stick within. So. But yeah, man, as you guys know, man, we're full on degenerates here. Like Classic said, make sure you guys support our affiliate channels. Again, really appreciate all the support you guys as we continue to grow. Tell some people about us, man. Let your leagues know. Have them come out, hang out with us, get them in these mock draft, make them a little more competitive for you guys in there. I mean, I'm sure you like cleaning stuff up, but it's nice going up against good competition as well. Keeps you sharp. So when you guys come in here and try to get in our listener leagues and stuff like that, you can compete with us. So let's get it going, man. So for all of us over here, I Get Right, man, for our boy Tycoon, for Dustin, for Frank, for my boy Classic Mike here, for all of us, of course, for Phil and Kendall. Make sure you guys tune into us on Monday when we break this mock down and get it graded for you guys, give you that feedback. And we'll be back here next Friday for another Friday night mock. So without any further ado, let's end this stream. We'll see you guys on Monday. Happy
Later.
4th. Have a good weekend. Be safe.
Wanted to write fantasy is the play. Marking often, but I tune in every Friday. Strategies provided.